Hey boys, what's going on? This is Ordinary again, and this is kind of episode 3 of being a GM of the Florida Panthers, except I ran into a little bit of audio trouble and my audio got corrupted or whatever, and it's not part of the video, so I'm recording this after the fact. So I'm just going to try to run you guys through what's happening here. I've sped it up because it was going to be 2 videos, and that's not looking like it's going to happen anymore. So here I'm trying to find a first-line right winger to join Huberdeau and Howden, I think. I'm not sure who I have on the left wing. But yeah, we're just trying to find a third line or a first line right winger, and we couldn't find anyone that was 4.5 stars and that the team wanted to give up. So we're just starting to sim. As you can see there, the free agents that I targeted in my last video have all accepted the contracts that I offered them. So I'm just trying to figure out the lines here and scratch and place whoever needs to be where. And the final 4 are finalized for NHL Stanley Cup playoffs, and I could not be more disappointed. There is not a team left for me to cheer for because I like the Canucks and the Flyers. So pretty much every rival team that I could think of is the final 4. But I guess I'll go with the Penguins just because I hate them the least. Penguins and the Kings I hate the least out of the 2 teams, so hopefully that's the final. But as it is right now, it's 1-0 against both of those teams, so not looking good. And later on in this video, it's gonna get really fast because I'm trying to do some trades for draft picks and stuff. And it's a little different to record this after the fact because I kind of know what's coming up, but it's gonna be moving so fast. This is at 300%, so it ends up being around 18 minutes, this video, and originally it was like 50 something, so. I guess I should start talking about the trades before we start getting to the actual trades because it's going to happen really quick. Now let's do the season. So surprisingly, the season wasn't going so poorly for a team that's made up of, well, pretty much junior players, right? I mean, we got a lot of 60s and 70s and even some 50s on the Lions, and we're holding our own. 500 record, and we continue this 500 record for quite a while. So right now we're above 500, and then 2 games above 500. It's crazy. And so the trades, I'm trying to get rid of the older players on our team. So Philippe Kuba, Marcel Gauche, Jose Theodore, players like that. And I'm trying to get some picks, and I do that later on in the season. And I've said in, I think it was the first video, that I wait until around December to target those picks, because then you have a better idea of what teams are going to do not so well throughout the season, and the first round picks have different trade values. If you do it at the beginning, you could end up overpaying. You could end up underpaying as well, but it's nice to know, kind of have a good idea of what you're getting with your trade, instead of guessing what team's going to do bad just by judging their roster. Because as you can see from our team, I mean, we got a dirt roster and we're in a playoff spot right now, so I was just checking there if there's any first line right wings available now that the season's further along. And look, we're in 5th in the East, so that's ridiculous. I'm pretty sure we do drop, but there's teams, I don't think we're going to be the worst in the league this year, which is kind of disappointing because I would like that really high draft pick, but I guess these guys aren't going out of a fight. Just checking through players again. And sorry if it sounds a little weird. I got a new mic, and I do have a beer on the go here, so it's Sunday and everything, so relax and do a little bit of commentary here. Oh, this fucking stopped. So I'm just rifling through the teams here. I'm just checking what if there is the right wingers again. I don't want that Goldberg guy at the top because his current overall is too low. He won't be ready when everyone else is ready. So I think he's 58 or something really low. And as you can see, none of the 4.5-star right wingers, the teams don't want to give them up. So I'm just setting up my trade block going into the trade deadline. Hopefully someone will offer me a trade. Spoiler, they don't. I don't get nothing. Filling my trade block with the players I want to get rid of. So Marcel is just scratched right now anyway, so he's just sitting there collecting dust. So I might as well ship him out, get some picks for him. And I do make a few trades here. It's kind of almost a blessing that this the audio got fucked up, because the video was really long and kind of drawn out. As you can tell, if this wasn't sped up, we'd be at like 20 minutes already, and not a lot has happened, right? So I did have some good commentary going, but that's the way she goes.
And now we're just checking out scouting, making sure that we find the best possible players.
And we're going to do OHL forwards first, and then I believe when this assignment's done, I send them to the queue, check out Drew Wynn and McKinnon and all that. And now this team is looking a little more lossy. That's 4 in a row. No trade offers in a while, even though I did change the block earlier. Yeah, see, dropped down to exactly 500 now. And I got my second phone, and then I do try to do some trades before the deadline. And I lose it again. So I do believe I go into the deadline with only one phone. And this is when I was just taking a look through the lines, and as you can see, Huberto's actually doing really well in the first line. He's almost a point per game. Versteeg right below him. And then, I don't know, I think I have Howden on the first line as well, and he's not doing nearly as well as he should be, but I mean, our team is actually doing pretty decent. A lot of our players are in the minus, in plus-minus, so I'm not sure how we're managing to put so many wins together. So I decided that I'd check what's going on here. We are pretty much 15th in the league, and we have the 3rd worst goals for per game, so we're not scoring very much. And then I checked the goals against per game. We're 19th in the league, so we're not we're letting in quite a bit of goals per game as well. So our penalty kill is not great, and our power play is not great either. So how we're winning, it's kind of mind-boggling. And I was just checking what teams were doing really bad, so I can see who wants to give away their picks out of the teams that I'm doing well. And here is me tossing in all the players that I don't want and seeing what team does want to take them. So it's our second round pick, and Kuba Ghosh and Theodore. And all the teams, these players don't have big trade value. I think that's a problem with the real life Panthers as well. So they're not able to make any big trades because they don't have assets that they can part with that have a decent trade value. So I was trying to get Detroit's first. They're like fourth last in the West or something like that. They first had quite a bit lower trade value than the other ones, but salary, I was running into salary issues, and I had to try to take back players, and that was boosting what I had to give up, and it was just a pain in the ass. So gave up on that. I do believe I'll go back and try it again, but I do make a few trades here easier. It's not going to go through. I have a question for you guys. When I was adding players, it wasn't changing the salary. That, see how it says like their salary was in the red or whatever? And I know that it's if they play in the NHL like the whole year, that doesn't affect it, but I thought if you signed someone to a contract that was bigger than like $0.95 million or something like that, that it did. It had some sort of effect, but when I would put those players in, like, there was a player that had like a $1.3 million contract, and they were in the AHL, and I put them in from Detroit, and it didn't affect the salary restriction at all. So if you guys know why that is, or how I can take salary down, because like I did put Eriksson in all the time because his salary is like 3.2 and he's got such a low trade value, but he's like the only person I could put on from their team that would actually take down the trade value. And I was thinking about trading Versteeg as well, because his development's almost up. He is 26, and as soon as he hits 27, his stars turn to silver. So he's like an 82 or 83 right now, and he's not gonna. He might get to 84, but I mean he's not gonna be that good. So he is significantly older than the rest of our team. So I thought it might make sense to trade him. I don't mind trading the thirds away that we have as well, because getting a first is a lot better than a couple thirds. I mean, in the third round you're getting 3-star players, and when I've already made trades for so many prospects, I mean, those players won't even crack the roster, so it's pretty rare, when I play at least, that I'll find a player that is 3-star on my team. Usually 3.5-star players are the lowest that actually make the roster, so I'm not opposed to trading away those third-round picks. And I just made the trade there. It was for, I believe, New York Rangers first, and I just took some players back from them that they didn't have a problem parting with, just to make the salary work, and I gave away some like 3-star right winger from the AHL team as well. So we got New York Rangers first, and now I'm shopping around Kuba and Theodore, because those are the other two players I really wanted to get rid of, and Detroit was the only team that wanted both of them, so I went back to them trying to make the trade work and couldn't. So I decided I'd try to split it up. Trade one to one team and one to the other. So I was looking for teams that are doing kind of well, and I thought I might be able to package a couple like low first-round picks, so like in the 20s, package those together and move up at the draft. So I was gonna go for some teams like Philly. I think is the best in the East right now, so their first doesn't have a lot of trade value. And just trading. I was trying to trade back Asham and Peros that I got back from the New York trade, which is funny because I traded Peros to them in the first place to get more on D. And I don't think that worked, so I went over to St. Louis. That went through. Now I have 2 first rounds that aren't very good, and then the first round that is pretty decent. And I'm just trying to shop Theodore out, but I don't think that he has a really low trade value, so I don't think I was able to get any firsts for him. So I went for Detroit second. Or did I? No, see, here I am in Montreal. Maybe I could take their second. Sorry, I did this like 4 days ago, and then when I realized that the audio was fucked up, I didn't know what to do. So I already saved like the progress. So I was like, do I do another video and just talk about what happened and what's going on, or do I use this footage and try to do a commentary over top of it? So I decided I would do this route. And they're not really wanting to give up anything here, so I'm trying to get rid of the lower picks as well. Anything I can do to sweeten the deal here a little bit. And it is for a second round pick, so it's probably not going to be anything useful for us, but it's going to be a lot more useful than Theodore is probably going to retire at the end of the season anyways. So I really didn't want to go past the deadline without getting rid of him for something, because we're just losing at the end for nothing anyways. And it's not like he's playing any games for us, so there's no point in just having him sit there. And this trade I'm making now is one of those free agents that I signed out of Europe at the beginning of the season. So that went through. I think it was like 2 shitty picks that free agent that might not crack the roster at Theodore for Montreal second. So, and look, see, I lost my phone, so we go into the deadline, which is like just a few weeks away here, without the second phone. See, the team's stringing together some losses here, but we beat the teams that have good records, and we lose the ones that have shitty records, or not shitty records, but records that aren't so good. Like, we'll beat playoff teams and we'll lose to the knockout teams pretty much every time. Just as I thought we were slipping to a good draft pick, we make the climb again. So yeah, see, we're in 11th, which is out of the playoff spot, and it's probably going to be out of the playoff spot for the rest of the season. But it's not down near Buffalo there at 50 points. I mean, that's 61. We're 11 points up on them, and probably they're probably not going to catch us. So I'm just showing you guys the roster here, and I'd like to get some feedback from you guys. What trades you like to see going into the deadline here? That's kind of the reason I decided that I would release the footage anyways, is because I didn't want to go into the deadline without some feedback from you guys. So if you can just look at the players here. I mean, of course I don't want to part with some of our good prospects, but if you think I can trade like maybe a 4-star and someone else for a 4.5-star that you guys think will be a good trade, let me know and I'll try to make that trade. And see you guys in the next video.